Right then, welcome to Rise Road Podcast number 39. 39. That's not dirty at all.
No, it's not right.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, we're just going to carry on where we left off. Yeah, I wasn't scared of Starship Troopers, but what did used to get me was the X-Files theme tune.
Really? I don't remember how did the theme tune go? Oh yeah, do. Well, I'm doing Casualty.
I was going to say, you kind of went off a bit there.
Oh,
yeah, but it was just creepy as fuck. I don't know why.
Chunky distortion that is on that.
Yeah. Right, sorry about that. I had to run in and check on the kiddly winks because the wife thought they were being all naughty and she's trying to work. Get in there and they're all asleep. So yeah. See, last week when this happened, James had a Garth moment, didn't you?
Yeah, I refused to do that again.
Yeah. So what I've done was, if you're interested, if you're just listening to the podcast and you don't normally go onto the YouTube channel, instead of just editing that part out of the podcast, I edited it out, but then I will be, later this evening, uploading it as its own segment on the YouTube channel.
If you want to see me completely and utterly just phase out, pretty much.
It was a beautiful thing to watch.
Oh man, it was fucking. You can see the minute my brain just fucking stops.
I enjoyed editing it.
Oh man, it's just like
it was good.
It was deer in the headlights.
Yes. If you listen to, because obviously we did speak about it in last week's podcast, and I said I'd put it at the end, but no, I thought it was that special. It deserved to be its own clip, its own clip on the channel. So yeah.
And again, I'd like to reiterate how hard it is to do one of these on your own. My mind just went blank. How you did it on your own for so long? It's a mystery.
It's just I just fucking talk. Like literally, I get put on my own or in a room with one person, or even alone with one person, and I can't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah,
that's why you're perfect podcaster material.
I am podcaster material.
Yes,
cut from the right cloth. And in true Brian's Road fashion, this week's podcast is not planned. So yeah, we're full on fucking winging it. What I will jump in and say is that I did add it up with the wife, because I was looking at the year. Because from March the 1st is when I actually uploaded the first podcast.
Yeah.
Right? So I think we added it up where if I put another podcast out every week now until then, when you add up 52, 56 weeks in a year?
Yeah.
Something like that.
52, I think.
Yeah, so obviously today's 39. So I can't remember exactly how many it is until the first week of March.
Yeah.
But I know when we added it up, I've only missed like a few weeks out of the whole year, which I think is pretty good for the first year of the podcast.
Oh, I mean, let's do a year special.
I'm quite... Oh, fuck yeah. We'll get like some famous people on or something.
No, do you know what you should get for your guest on the year special?
No idea.
Your wife.
Why?
I think you talk about her quite a lot on the podcast. I think people are like, oh, that's his wife. I think they'd like to put a face and a voice when you're talking about her.
Maybe the 5-year podcast. I'll get the wife on.
Why 5 year? That's such a specific number.
I like the number 5. You know me, whenever I think ahead, I always say 5 years.
It's always a 5-year plan.
Throw the ball ahead 5 years.
5-year plan.
It's just, not even a plan, just like where do you roughly think of being? Half the time that gives people that good insight of like, fuck, I'm going to be in the same place I am now if I keep doing what I'm doing.
I just want a sweet six-pack.
Do you feel good about it? I don't think you'll ever get one.
No, I like biscuits too much.
Yeah, because when you say that like when most, like too, what's the word, flippantly, like, I'd like that, but you don't say like, well, I want it so I'm going to get it.
There's too much effort in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hard work.
It's a lot of not eating shit.
There's a lot of hard work involved in it.
Because that's just, it's just body fat percentage. You don't know how many fucking sit-ups you're going to be doing. You've got abs. If you didn't have abdominal muscles...
You'd just like folding on
yourself. I was going to say, I don't think you'd stand, would you?
You look like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Yeah.
Folding.
So now I can't see you doing that, I'm sorry.
And when I like bend over and tense, I can feel them. I can feel my abs. They are there.
Oh, you're cute.
It's just a layer of fat on top of them.
If you see me glancing, if you watch it on YouTube, you see me glancing across, it's just because I am checking the phone. Because I've got the chat open with the wife.
You're really married. It's all a ruse.
Yep.
This is just so you think he's cool.
It's one of them.
Oh,
cool.
girl
Relatable.
likes you.
Relatable. Not
Ooh.
even. How old are we? 12?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
32, mate.
Okay,
I'm in like an emo group page because I used to be an emo. Still am at heart, I guess.
Mm.
But it's like, and people are like, oh my God, I'm turning 21, my life's over. And I always like go, mate, I'm 33, life's never been better. What are you on about?
Yeah.
Fucking turning 20 and you go, oh no, my life's over. Shut up.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Well, it's all relative, isn't it?
The stages.
I think when I was like 21, I was like, oh God, yeah, my life's over.
I always think, because I always talk about, don't I, a lot about us being like, the physiology of us and how we were built and how we were made and everything, and how, like, you know, weekends were invented and all that sort of shit.
Time was invented, right?
Time was invented, yeah. But I mean, I just wonder where it started to go wrong in the way of like if you go a little bit back, it's like when it was wrong then, it was because people were killing people a lot.
I'll tell you where it went wrong, right? The exact moment people found out you could do stuff and make money from it, or power, or get something, is probably where it went wrong.
That sounds a bit too ambiguous to me.
But that's what I mean. It's like, I reckon that's probably where it started going wrong.
Because surely
though.
trading services for something is just age old. That's effectively trading. Money's effectively trade, isn't it?
Well, it would have been, I get you a loaf of bread and you do this for me.
Yeah.
Maybe not a loaf of bread, maybe before that. But
It's always been the corruption of power and stuff.
yeah, absolute power corrupts absolutely, right.
Yes, I do love that one. I just love it when technology says it.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Absolute power corrupts.
Absolute power corrupts
Oh,
absolute.
man, that was a tune, that was.
Man, I've been back on Tech 9 a bit lately.
I do like, yeah. I'm
I
not
do.
massive. There's like,
It's-
whenever
I like having a phase.
yeah,
I'm
whenever
like,
I hear his albums,
Tech was good,
there's
man.
always like,
Tech is good.
oh, mate, no denying his talent.
Yeah.
Whatsoever dude can fucking rap. It's insane. But I think once I've heard about 5 or 6 Tech 9 songs, I'm like, that's enough for you for today.
Yeah. Sadly.
Yeah. No denying his talent whatsoever. I always preferred Chris. Chris
Really?
Calico and Seth Crew are my favourites.
Oh, I do love a bit of cess.
Mate, that one album, which one was it? The one
13?
that we... yes.
13.
No,
Yeah.
that was the
No.
EP, weren't it?
Yeah.
The one after it, Lotus.
No.
No,
Oh,
it had that song on there, didn't
Seven Chakras.
it? Seven
No,
Chakras.
Was that the name of the album? Was that a song?
That,
I can picture the
just
album
remember
cover and
having
everything.
That, yeah, when they're in the dark black and
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can just remember having that album on for the first time it came out in your van. I don't know where we were going, but we were going somewhere,
Yeah.
and I remember having that album on, like from start to finish. And I remember us landing on the one that fucking line.
This is making for great podcast material.
I know, but we'll carry on. I'll get there's a one line, and we used to say it all the fucking time on that album. There was one Seth Crew little line, and we used to say it all the time.
I can't think of one specific lyric.
Oh, that's gonna piss me off. That is
I'm
Mary Jane or something to do with Mary Jane or something.
We'll do this after.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. But yeah, when I say all went wrong, I mean this whole thing where we're in like a state of life now where like we need this direction sort of thing. Like we need to feel like what our purpose is during our life. Like we need to have like, you know, the whole thing about setting little goals and having something to work towards and all this kind of stuff. Like when did that start to change? At what point? You know, because obviously there was I'm just wondering if people way back in day, like, you know, of like knights and kings and shit, you know, when they were just like farmers, like peasants sort of things.
Don't die, weren't it?
Like, were they depressed then?
No, because their dream would have been, I hope I don't die today.
Yeah.
That would have been it. I
Well-
think if you were a knight or something, or noble, you probably would have had, I want to get higher in power
Yeah.
as a thing. But I think you common
I mean,
everyman.
like the commoners would they have lived like depressed? Like, oh, I weren't born a king.
No, because they wouldn't have
What's
known
that?
any different. They would, do you know what it is? And it's it's fucking social media, innit? Because
like,
in those days, they wouldn't have known any different. They would have known their part in life. I'm a fucking peasant. I'm a farmer. I'm in the militia or I'm out in the fields. I'll get a roof over my head and I get food in my belly. That's it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know any different, would you? You're like, oh, you see the king. You'd see someone walk past him fucking like on a horse or something.
See, this is what I've said.
"Fucking hell."
I covered that kind of perspective in my zombie apocalypse podcast, didn't I? That kind of idea of like life being simpler back then.
Yeah.
And when it just seems so fucked up now. Like I was talking to one of my customers the other day, and I think he was on about his like effectively sister-in-law, even though I don't think any of the people were married in the situation. And he was on about how like the other half, like again they're not married, so I want to say husband. I don't know. I just feel wrong saying boyfriend. Boyfriend, like he works, but like he does most of the work with the baby and whatnot as well. Like the girlfriend doesn't do any work. Does like barely help us doing anything around the house or anything. She just literally fucks about, does fuck all sort of thing. But when I ask him about it, it's like there was always a rebuttal like, mate, she don't want to work. Like she doesn't want us to do this. So I'm like, you know, you need to have a conversation with her. I was again talking about the communication between partners and whatnot, because obviously you never know exactly what's going on unless you're.
I remember you making this
in
up. Yes.
So it's like I don't know if he's just speaking from because the other partner is like his best friend. Like the boyfriend is. So I don't know if he's speaking from a place of, oh mate, he's tried everything. It's like, could it be that he's just communicating shit with her? But the picture he was painting sounds like quite a common picture where it's just like they don't want to do anything, but at the same time, like, you kept referencing this bag that she wanted. It's $1,000 for this bag.
That's a lot of money for
But
a
then
bag.
like he was on about like where they live is not like the nicest estate kind of place or anything. And it's like, you want to live in a shithole and all this kind of crap, and you can't be asked to do anything, but you want this really expensive bag. It's like, but that's not uncommon.
No, because it's
for that kind of thing.
Why buy things to impress people?
Yeah, and
It's
just what gets people to that point where it's like, I don't want to do anything like work-wise. I mean, she might be depressed. Because
I remember saying
like,
you don't know what is going on.
Like, because I said to him, the way I worded it to him was like, he needs to talk to her properly and he needs to put all his ego aside. And I said, I think I worded it in the way I've said, he needs to be able to get a point where he can pretty much have a good understanding of everything she might have ever thought, anything she could currently think, and anything she's possibly ever going to think, so that any situation that comes along, he can interpret it like pretty accurately, to be like, well, no, I understand that you're not happy with this because I know that deep down you wanted to do this, or you'd rather be doing this, so like, let me help you work on that or towards that. I'm like, and you can see, like, I get this quite often when I'm talking to people that have never spoke to me, and I get all fucking deep on them. Like, you could have see their eyes opening, because you could probably imagine that they've probably never had a proper conversation. Like, they'll probably just be chatting shit.
And you're making sense.
Because most people, when they just go home, they see the mates and they just chat shit about the day. Work was crap. Missus pissing me off. Women are fucking bitches. Meh. Women do the same. The wife used to have it all the time when she went through a spate of having her nails done every 2 weeks. And she used to say she'd feel uncomfortable in like the nail salon because all the women would just be bitching about the partners. And she'd be like, I can't, I just feel out of place, right? She went, I don't even want to say anything because I'd feel like I'm rubbing it in, being like, actually, my husband's lovely. And like, we get on great and got a great relationship and blah, blah, blah. So that's obviously me trailing off because of me saying that he wouldn't. That's why I get that look of like, fucking hell, like we're talking, and you can see him like absorbing it. So you could see it when I was saying like, just him going like, what jobs you want to do then, or like, why can't you bother to work? It's not as simple as saying that and then going, she don't want to work. It's like, yeah, no, that's simple. Like, people don't often crack open that easily. Like, she's a human being, that there probably is something she would rather be doing, or some interest she has, or something.
Like a hobby or something.
Yeah,
at least.
I don't believe anyone in their deep down soul is that fucking dead. Like, it's usually 90% of the time circumstantial.
Somewhere you gotta have a passion, ain't you?
Yeah, I mean, even the people that have like, you had like severe childhood trauma, blah 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 blah. Use your imagination to go along with that, or wherever you think it might go. Even those people, again, past the trauma before that, they would have been a person that had interests and wants and goals and things they'd like to have done and achieved.
It's more like, I think it's just an outlet. I think you have to have some kind of anything to channel it into.
Oh, this is what, again, so training back to the thing I'm saying about like, when did it all get so fucked up and go wrong? Because I feel like now, like, we have to artificially, maybe not even the word, like, we have to do so much. We have to literally put into our lives. So the exercise thing, how we talk about, like, I think we've had the conversation before of saying, like, people view exercise and whatnot as like
extracurricular activity.
It's a hobby thing. It's like, oh yeah, you do fitness. It's like, it should be seen as water. It should be seen as eating and breathing. It's like, we should do that.
It should be a habit.
Yeah,
you should be.
So there's that we need to do, and then there's the
but
whole.
Then it's not exercise.
Yeah,
because it's not exercise. We should be running about anyway.
I like to go down the word of maintenance. Yeah. It's physical maintenance.
We shouldn't choose to be running. It should just be in our daily.
Yeah, routine. You cut your nails, don't you?
Yeah.
You brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Like, you wash your hair and that to keep clean.
Yeah.
You should move your body.
Yep.
And you should stretch.
Yep.
And whatnot. Because again, the way we were designed, we were running around climbing shit. So just when you climb shit, you stretch, reach, move, flexibility, everything's the way you move and you manipulate your body. We should just move more and whatnot.
We're not designed to sit in a chair for 10 hours a day.
But even to the extreme, because see, that's the standard sentence people go to, because I just think of that sitting all day, right? But even to the point of like the jobs that we do, like, because builders guy, I've worked with so many builders. I'm a tradesman, electrician, so I've met plenty of builders lads where I talk about health and whatnot. And they're like, oh, we're active. I'm like, yeah, but it's the same repetitive movements.
As you were saying about the builders things, and they're saying, oh yeah, we're active, we're fit, and as you said, with the repetitive movements.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just that, but it's because that young lad I worked with, we worked on a builders thing for a bit, and he was like, they just eat shit all day as well.
Yes.
Which don't help. A lot of it is what you eat.
Definitely.
And like you said, with the repetitive movements, it's like, as you'd class it as farmer strength, innit? Kind of.
Yeah. I think farmers have it better than builders, to be fair. Because a lot of the time as well, when you're like a builder, because there's like that pressure of time scale and whatnot, you end up moving your body in ways that You know you shouldn't. Just like bending down for shit and not squatting.
Well, I suppose it's like
Stuff
when
like
I
that.
worked at the company I work for.
Mm.
It's like I've done my back there a couple of times, but it's like they teach you safe working methods as it is.
Yes.
But then if you follow that safe working methods, you're going far too slow, and they'll sack you.
Yeah.
So it's
I remember
like,
this.
Yeah.
When I worked there.
This is like, well, you want me to do it safe, and you teach me this training to do it safe, but then if I do it that way, I'm going too slow, and you get rid of me.
Yep.
What?
Total bullshit.
Where's the fucking common sense there? Oh, we care about your safety. You got to protect your back. All this bullshit. It's like, well, what? Why are you contradicting yourself then?
But pulling it back a little bit. Yes, this thing about when I said having to like artificially do these things. So like fitness is the one because it's. I think what I mean by this is things we don't actively just think to do, like eating and breathing sort of thing. You know, we just do those. So like moving your body and trying to maintain your body and the way your body moves and like just your muscles and your joints and all that sort of stuff should come into that category. But then there's like now it's the mental health thing. Like that's a thing.
Yeah, the shit hot on it now. You've got to be on.
Like yeah, like that gets like that perfect puppy course that I'm on in that group. Like they're on about the crate training of it, and someone even put in their post the other day like it's really saved our mental health by doing the crate training. Like it's very much just part of the conversation now. The term,
It should be.
which it should be. Granted, back when we were kids, never heard of it.
Well, in regards to the whole back in the medieval times and shit, I don't think they had a chance to think about the mental health. There was no
So this is what I mean.
no such thing. It was like you are a peasant. That is what you.
So
do.
this is what I mean. Like that's what I mean. Getting like where we are now, where we need to keep on top of the physical, we need to keep on top of the mental, and then then there's different grades of the mental. Like for me specifically, because I'm creative, I need a creative outlet. Like literally, like I'll never forget that hitting me like a ton of bricks when I was doing like my.
Man, you're not the opposite of me, ain't you?
I know, like my psychology, like research and stuff. When I was like Jordan Peterson, everything, all these university courses. If you're interested in psychology at all, and you've never heard of Jordan Peterson, check him out. And his entire university course is on his YouTube channel.
Books, but I've not watched
like, it's so cool because obviously it's a proper lecture sort of thing.
Well, he's a
And
professor, isn't he?
I'll never forget where he gets to this point about creative people, and he's like, if they can't, his words were literally, if they can't be creative, they die. Like, and I remember that feeling. I remember like when I hadn't long been with my now wife, and I needed to build this room to do music. Cause me and James used to do music together. I'd rap and he'd sing, and obviously the plan was all still very much in place to do the music, and I hadn't even built this yet. And I just remember like all I was doing was just work and family. I wasn't doing anything creative even slightly, and it was literally eating away at me. And I remember having a conversation with the now wife. And I just remember him being in bed and talking to him and being like, this ain't like a hobby thing. I remember trying like really putting it across like, yeah, this isn't like, oh, I just really want to do this. I'm like, I fucking need it.
Yeah.
Like, obviously I'm not doing music now, but I'm doing other things like the vlogging, this podcast, like that just to be creative, like with my brain and my hands, like, you know, shit I'll build for the kids and stuff.
For some reason, you can't sit still.
Yeah.
In your head,
ideas.
in your brain, you can't sit still.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're terrified to find something if you do sit still and think for a minute, but you're always. I think for me, looking at it from the outside.
No.
That's what I mean. From the
terrified
outside,
of what?
From the outside looking in.
Yeah.
It's like you can be misconstrued, not misconstrued, but it's like your brain's firing on all cylinders like constantly.
Yeah.
So it's like, why? How to word it? So you have to be doing something all the time.
Sort of. I think you're painting a bit of a different. It's not like an itch, like a withdrawal symptom, crack addict. Like I need to move. Like it's hard to because you're a bit creative.
No, nowhere near as level as you though.
But it's like it's just you need to create things, and it's such like you're at your happiest point when you're just making something. It's just nice because you just feel like I just want to be doing something, like or enjoy. I can still relax.
See,
I can enjoy things.
I don't think I'm creative in the slightest. When have I ever made anything?
You've wrote lyrics.
Yeah, terrible lyrics.
They're alright.
Fucking terrible. You ask my old bandmates, man. I never used to write half them lyrics. They used to write the choruses.
You're on this podcast with me.
Yeah, I know, but I wouldn't have done this myself.
Goth.
I'm like...
It's going to stick now. You just goth.
I hate the phrasing of it because I don't believe in alphas and all that shit. It's all fucking bullshit.
Hierarchies and stuff.
Hierarchies, yeah, because someone has to lead. But I don't believe in I don't believe you chucked a bunch of. I think if you chucked a bunch of random people in a room, someone would take charge.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that's the alpha thing bullshit. I mean, that theory was proven wrong.
Oh, okay.
Because they did the bloke who wrote the original alpha theory with the wolf packs and stuff. There has to be an alpha. He wrote that in the 70s or the 80s, I think. And then he went back 20 years later, found out it was all false, and took his own books off the shelves. So he was
Wow.
like, yeah, sorry, I got it wrong.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I wish that happened more often.
Yeah.
Oh.
He actually admitted to like, I got my, because he observed them in captivity. And in captivity, someone will take charge, but in the wild, there are no such thing as alpha wolves or anything in the wild.
Shit.
They all share responsibilities.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it?
But in captivity, someone will step up.
Ah.
But that's not. I don't.
So you brought up another.
But as I was saying,
remind me of that book point
Yes.
later, okay? Shit, and I had like the point I wanted to get back to.
sorry.
Oh, you bitch! You can't carry on talking about the dog. You can't. I was like, it was on the tip of my tongue. There. I was like, right, that's what I was trying to fucking say. And now you just.
But as I say, what you were saying about the whole coerce thing, it's like I'm more of a. That's what I was going to say. I hate that terminology. But if you were going to use it, I'd be more of a beta. It's like
Right.
I'm not gonna step up and lead anything. I'm not gonna take charge. I'm not gonna create stuff. I'm more than happy to like follow you.
Yeah.
Because I'm comfortable with you. I like your ideas and I like to bounce off you.
Hey.
And if I can help you, I'm happy helping you.
Help me to help you.
Yeah,
Help me to help you.
help you. Help you.
What's
Exactly.
that off?
How many mother?
Yes.
Come on, help me
Yes.
to help you. Help me to help you.
Love it.
Anyway, yeah. What were we saying?
I can't remember. It's pissed me off now.
I'm terribly, terribly sorry.
Oh, there was a nice overarching.
Did you have a nice little thing there?
It was a nice overarching thing that I think I'd already previously mentioned. And I'm
Last thing I remember going on about this was the whole builders thing and fucking.
yeah, I know that I had a nice way of wording it on the tip of my tongue.
You know about Jordan Peterson being creative? You have to
Yeah,
have
there
an
was-
outlet.
There was that, but obviously the overarching thing I was getting to was the whole us having to artificially put it into make it part of our lives.
Oh, right.
So like,
If it was left to our own devices, we just wouldn't
we don't
fucking
do it. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like now it's like it's important that we be mindful to do these things.
Right, yes.
So I'm like to be able to survive, contently in the world we live in now. Like it's important to do those things. Whereas I'm like, back in the day, would it have been?
No, because I told you it would have literally been don't die.
Also, there's a lot less people then.
A lot less people, and like I said, you'd live till you're 20,
Yeah.
22. That was just the way it was, and people were content.
One thing that fucking stands out to me now with stuff like that, back in the day, because I just said about people, is like childbirth, man.
Mate, 50% of women died in childbirth.
Yeah,
man.
and like when you hear some of the complications of like when I speak to my customers and
Mate,
stuff.
Sophie would have died. I'm adamant Sophie would have died. My
Right.
missus would have died doing it. She had 2 C-sections.
Yeah.
Because my baby shit in her, and that would have
Fuck.
been poisonous. That
Yeah.
would have poisoned the blood.
She probably
She
would have.
wouldn't have
Yep.
given birth. She would have died
Yeah,
during
because they
labour.
wouldn't have got it out of her.
No. And I probably would have lost the baby as well.
Yeah. So you're like,
100 years ago, she'd have been dead.
on to the next one.
Yeah, how fucking
Fucking
mental is that?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Fucking insane.
Or skipping past the
God, medicine's fucking incredible.
the
isn't it?
horrible itch that I've got of like a gold. It felt like a golden
Syphilis.
way of fucking wording. Yeah. Segueing off nicely from the book thing that you said, because that was what because I felt like a whole other avenue go. Then I was like, no, I need to like cap
Edge
this
it
one.
back before
I
we
need
go
to
on.
cap this one off
Yeah.
nicely before I can move on to that. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
I might have ended that a bit messily, but that thing you touched on there, I've mentioned this before. Like the fact that he got his point later down the line, as you said, realised he was wrong, and then redacted his words, sort of thing. I'm throwing out all the words lately.
Retconned it.
That never happens.
For people owning up to their mistakes.
Yeah, like
In
mistakes,
the
and then it being
scientific field, anyway.
yeah, it does history and everything.
Well, history's
Like-
written by the winners, isn't it?
It's like how much bullshit is our world at the minute built on.
Oh yeah, of course it is.
It's scary.
Blood
when
and
you really,
blood, money, and lies, Ryan.
Yeah.
So
When you
history is written by the victors.
yes.
It's all glorious wars and everything in it, but I bet.
Like I really get interested in that whole sacking of the Library of Alexandria.
Oh mate, I love shit like that.
Like, fuck, can you imagine the amount of shit that was there?
Yep, it would have been fucking incredible.
Yeah, blah, blah.
It's all the battles of Constantinople and all that shit, man. All the Crusader fights and all that stuff, man. Oh, I love that shit.
I love your shit.
Love stuff like that. But like I said, we will never know really what happened in the past. Not truthfully, anyway.
But I mean, even like to this day, like when that goes on about how long they think people have been around for.
What, people like we are now, or are you
Yeah.
talking Neanderthal?
Yeah, like just like the human skeleton sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. I
You
know
know
there are different ones.
Neanderthals weren't humans.
We've come from them though. Like
We
that's part
evolved
of our
from them.
evolutionary chain.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think. Was
I
it?
can't remember.
Surely. Yeah.
What's the first one now?
Homo sapiens,
No.
Homo erectus. That same thing.
It's annoying because I've watched that much about it. You think I'd have it on the tip of my fucking tongue. But basically, there's this skeletal remains sort of thing that are meant to be Clovis first. The Clovis. Yeah, sorry, you
Fuck
wouldn't
is
know.
Clovis?
So basically, it's like where in some part of the fucking world where they found these remains, like human remains, and I can't remember if they've got the name Clovis from where it is or whatever.
Right.
But basically, like, they're the oldest ones. So it's
Right.
like it's called Clovis first. It's like right, okay, these must have been the first like
ever.
humany ones because of how old it is. But it's like there's other things out there that like completely go against that they found as well. But it's like it's just this information thing where it's like you from people outside of academia like you and me, they're like average Joe and whatnot. We just assume like, oh yeah, like they find shit and go like, oh that's how it was then, and then they find new shit and go, oh yeah, no, we're wrong because we found this now. Now that we actually know this, like if like on how many planets are we aware of? I don't fucking know.
Oh, 9 in it.
Yeah, so let's say there's 9.
9 or 8 or something.
If you know, comment, it'd be interesting. So let's say there's 9, right? And then they come along and went like, oh, actually, we found a 10th one. You'd be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Cool.
Yeah,
Like, there's 10. Now there's 10. But like, actually, in like academia, it's more like, oh, there's a 10th one. It's not cool. So there's 10. We've told for like we've written like books, like big fucking books in universities and shit that companies make these books and they make lots of money like selling these books. Saying that there's 9 planets. You can't say there's 10.
When Pluto was fucking declassified as a planet, man, what a fucking uproar about that.
But I mean, like, that exact example that I've just kind of given there about, like, that's literally how it is when it comes to information about dinosaurs and human civilizations.
Yeah, we just take it as gospel. Some bloke in a lab coat went, "These are dinosaurs. They're this old," and I went, "Oh, sound."
Because I might have mentioned in the previous podcast about that example of the guy that done the weathering on the Sphinx.
Yes, I was saying it was a rain erosion on it.
Yeah, and he was in like a meeting, like a conference thing with a whole bunch of other like geologists. I think that's rock, isn't it?
Geologists is rock.
Yeah, they're all there, and he put up slides, and it was like, "This is all rain erosion. Do you agree?" Put these slides up, and they were like, all of them agreed, unanimous. And he was like, "Boom, it's the Sphinx," and they were like, "You can't." They're like basically like, "But we didn't say that.
No, 'cause that'd change
You can't put our
right.
names to that. We're not going against like the overarching theme. Like no.
So, you know,
We're not
bad as
saying
it
that."
sounds, man, people could get like killed over that shit.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Like, I wouldn't want to say against the status quo if it risked my life. Well, I'll be like, no, you're right, mate.
Because I think like proper like is it
Cool to know, innit, man? I bet there's so many like mysteries. Like, it's like Area 51's another good one. It's like, what the fuck is in there?
aliens and stuff.
Well, I know we've touched on it before, but there's absolutely, maybe not on this galaxy, the Milky Way, but I mean, there's how big the universe is, man.
Yeah.
It's never ending. There is no fucking way we are the only thing.
See, that's another thing,
universe,
innit, with space
man.
and shit. It's like you say like, "Do you know how big it is?" And you go, "Yeah, I know how big it is." Like, I think even if you say, "Yeah," you really don't.
Mate, I don't think we can fathom
It's when you get them pictures
how big it is.
of I can't remember what, if it was from the Hubble telescope or whatever, but it's that picture of all the galaxies.
It fucking
They
mind
just look like little discs and spinning, and you're like, our Milky Way galaxy contains like how many stars, how many planets, our sun, and like everything else. That's all just in our galaxy.
Yep.
It's like we're like a dot.
Yeah.
And then there's like thousands of other galaxies, and each galaxy has like fucking God knows how many planets and its own sun and everything else.
Dude, it's literally never ending.
It just keeps fucking going.
Yeah, it never ends. Stephen Hawking said the universe is expanding. It never stops. It just keeps. There's just not an end. It just.
Neil deGrasse Tyson's a good one.
Yeah, I like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, because I've listened to a few of his books. He words things in a really nice way that you can understand what the fuck he's on about.
I mean, just sit and think about it, and it's just.
Oh, it just makes your dick go hard and then soft and then curl around into your arsehole. It
reminds me like the unfathomableness of it. It reminds me of Lovecraft stories. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with Lovecraft. You've probably heard the name here and there.
Yes,
He's an author,
I've heard the name.
but he did like the Eldritch horror stuff. You know,
Okay.
the Eldritch horrors and all the fucking unnameable like entities from outer space and shit kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like his horror writing. That's all about unfathomable. So people going mad from learning secrets.
Oh, okay.
And stuff like that.
Mm.
And it's like I mean, he's got a bit of a troubled past. Apparently, he was a bit of a product of his time, shall we say. But I love his stories. I love his stories.
Yeah.
And because they're just short stories, so they're really good for like an audiobook, which is what we tend to do.
Yeah.
Like an hour long each, little short stories. But they're just like the way he words it, and it's just so cool.
I just get really intrigued in the way of just people and what we've been around and what we've been thinking. It's like when you're about like the actual stories. From now that cunt philosopher. If I'd have researched this.
Which one? No fucking philosophers there's been.
But basically about
Nietzsche.
About Atlantis and everything. No, Nietzsche was a psychologist, not a philosopher.
He's a psychologist.
Yeah.
Hang on, Nietzsche was he was a philosopher because Nietzsche was nihilism, which is a philosophy.
Is it?
Yeah, nihilism is a philosophy of living, isn't it? Because a philosophy is a way of life.
Okay.
Not a way of life. It's a. How would you word it? Because nihilism's when there's no God, there's nothing matters. We all die. That was it.
Yeah.
That's nihilism when there's no.
Yeah, because it was
Nietzsche
that said like
God is dead. Yeah. That's philosophy, isn't it?
Do you know what he meant by God is dead?
I'll explain. Carry on.
It was a really interesting thing by where back then religion was this huge thing.
You didn't fucking speak against religion.
Yep. But again, this kind of ties into everything we're on about as well, so it's quite nice you brought it up. So it's like back then, it's that thing of you had your purpose because your purpose was to serve God. Yep. You wake up in the morning, simple. Do what God fucking says. There's commandments and shit, no matter what religion you're in. There's whatever things you've got to do within that religion, and you just fucking do them.
Yep.
You've got your purpose, you've got your hierarchy. God's above me, done. Maybe he's chosen that person to lead this city or whatever. Fucking easy. But then what it is when people start disregard religions and start like doing their own thing, it was like basically saying the idea of us having that thing to focus on and cling to and like follow sort of thing, because that was going what he meant by God was dead was like God's dead in that way, is not within people. But then he was saying like, and it's going to be the end of the world because this thing that we're struggling with now in today's society is because we're all like, even though we've got the monarchy and parliaments and shit, we have got people in charge in air quotes.
We have a hierarchy,
but we've got way more freedom as humans than we ever have.
Mate, you didn't dare speak out against the church back then, mate.
In life, yeah. So it's like we're at this point now, which again, exactly what I've been on about. Thankfully, at the start of this podcast, I love how this is tied back. It's beautiful. Of we've got so much choice and we can do what we want. Like so much is down to choice. Whereas back then there was no choice. You did what your religion told you to do.
You did what your fucking monarch and your lords told you to fucking do.
So I can't remember the exact, because Jordan Peterson goes into this within his university course and whatnot. And it goes on.
Fucking loop some things in today.
Oh, I know, it's fucking right. This is if we planned it, which we did not for fuck at all. He even messaged me earlier like, what time to like what you saying? Then I just literally replied with the word bollocks.
Yeah, shit, I forgot.
And I went,
and about 2 minutes later, he texted me back going, yeah, we're good.
Yeah. I was like, just let me check with the wife because I don't know about food or anything.
Carry on before we forget.
Yeah, so what I might try and do is find that and rehash it in one of the future podcasts on next one. But yeah, it's basically the thing of like God is that belief system and whatnot. We've got the goals and things to work towards. Basically, all that's gone now, so we're effectively here now in this kind of life without all that going. So now what do we do?
It's like searching for meaning in life, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas like you just said, the meaning was you serve God.
Yeah.
And you serve God.
What
you
do
serve
we do
God dutifully, you get into heaven and you have eternal bliss.
Yeah.
Whereas now we all know that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because I've always loved the idea of being religious. I've always loved the idea of having faith, being 100% fucking certain that you know what happens when you die.
Yeah.
That sounds comforting as fuck.
From a death angle.
That sounds comforting as hell. There's something grander above you can't comprehend. You just live your little life the best you can and you end up there with him.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful, but I just know it's bullshit. I know it was just used to control people, obviously. Because that's how they did it.
Yeah.
You control people through religion. Fear, religion and money. That is how you control people.
See, this is when I start getting into the realms of like Graham Hancock, and there's another guy he's only done the one book. I think it's called The Immortality Key. Really fucking interesting. And it's basically going along the lines of how basically we've evolved because of psychedelics and whatnot. And
cool.
Again, like in the future, I swear, I will do researched podcasts because it would be beautiful.
I think it'd be nice to like do,
because I can give you more. It's so
go through
so I
Jordan
listen to
Peterson
myself.
Lecture and all these books and that, and then we'll go like, or you say like Jim
what?
Hampton. I'm gonna read through this book, this idea, read this as well, and we
Yeah,
can talk
that'd be
about
better.
it.
Yeah, But I know basically it's just the idea of like the temples that people used to go to back in the day, and it was just the references to them and how they were described. It was like, you know, you had to come and have this, and it would like give you an experience, and it would open your eyes to like mistakes you've made and blah. So you know, you'd live a better life, sort of thing. And then I think it was the Romans that come in, and or some the like, you know, empire.
Yeah.
And basically the first thing they did was fucking got rid of those. Because I don't want these cunts thinking of themselves. We want them thinking what we fucking tell them to think.
Obviously.
And it's just really interesting.
So, I mean, just people have been controlled from day one, because if they didn't, mate, if we all just stood up as one, what could they do?
Yeah.
What would they do if we just all refused to pay taxes? What if everyone just went, I ain't paying it? Like, every single person in the country. What if every single person in the country decided one day, I'm not going to vote?
Sorry, message off the wife.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't understand the kind of power we have if we stand as one. Look, do you know what said this best, Ryan? I saw this, and I watched a film a while ago with Nella and Soph, right?
Yeah.
Bug's Life.
I'm listening.
There's that fucking quote, do you know, because it's the ants against the grasshoppers. Is it grasshoppers?
Yeah, it's the grasshoppers.
And do you know there's only about 10 of them grasshoppers, but fucking hundreds of them ants?
Yes.
And then he's like, the bloke's like, fuck it, they're only ants, what are they going to do, blah, blah, blah. And then he throws a fucking acorn at the big bad guy throws an acorn or a nut or something at the one taking the piss.
Yes.
He's like, did that hurt? He's like, no. He throws another one at him, what about that? He's like, no. And then he just fucking pulls the lever, doesn't he? About 10,000 fucking nuts fall on him and crush him. And he's like, if one fucking stands up and they all stand up, we're fucked.
Yes.
It's like, that is our food supply. If they realise that they outnumber us 1,000,000 to 1 and could easily outtake us, as soon as they stop fearing for their lives and think about the greater good of the people, we're fucked. Mm-hmm. And that's all we've got to do. I just think, well, not we've got to do it, I just think it'd be interesting. Like, what would happen if we didn't?
The world would descend into chaos.
That's what I mean. Like, what would happen if we, like, you're saying about all these hierarchies and all this shit. What if we just went, no, fuck off, mate?
Because then all that would go, and we'd get rid of it all, and then we'd all stand around and go, what the fuck do we do now?
Exactly. Because we need the order, we need the hierarchy, but at the same time, we're like, fuck the hierarchy and fuck the order. But it's just how we're bred to think,
Don't you just love life?
That's what I mean.
Don't you just love it? Oh, it's
when
so
you sit there and
up.
you really think about it all, it's fucking chaos. Because my brother's real anti-government, anti-parliament, anti-fucking monarchy and all this shit. And I'm like, yeah, but we need the order.
But that's his goal. That's his purpose. That gives him something to do.
Yeah.
To bitch about them.
My brother just lives on pure fucking hatred.
There you go. That's his God.
But it's just, we need the order.
Ain't it interesting? I tell you, the older we get, or the older I've gotten, and the more I learn about shit, is like, you know, and used to the phrase of like, oh, you know, it's black and white. I'm like, there is no
black, there is no white. It's just a million different shades of fucking grey.
Yes.
Mate.
And the other way I like to word it lately is that it's grown every time I've said it. Is that it's a seesaw with like 80 seats, and every time I say it, it gets more seats. It started with 6. The first time I used the analogy, I was like, it's like a seesaw with 6 seats. And then I got to 10 and then 30. But it is just there's so much to balance.
You just have to weigh it up.
So much in life to try and like feng shui and fit.
But like you said, and there's a lot of people. I know I'm going to put this into gaming for terms of
gaming.
I know we get quite a lot of gamers that play. What listen?
Yeah,
go
for it.
When you get like your morality systems in games, and it's either good or it's bad.
Yes.
And it's like, well, what if I just kind of want to do my own thing?
Yeah.
It's like you either kill this guy or you don't kill him. It's like, what if I want to like? He's not looking. I'll take his wallet.
Yeah.
I don't kill him. He's all right, but he's lost his wallet.
Befriend him.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's either black or it's white, and you're either good or you're evil, and it's not. Every single pure-hearted saint has done something bad in their life, and every bad person's capable of good.
Excuse me. Sorry.
It's case in point. Like, axe murderers in prison will kill paedophiles in prison.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like everyone hates a child offender. Like, you could have murdered an entire family or something, but then it's like, that guy touches kids, stab.
I killed my wife, my mum, my dad, fucking shot the local store, robbed his fucking thing. But you touched a kid.
Yeah,
like,
you're worse than me.
You're scum.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
So, I mean,
it's interesting, isn't it?
It is fascinating how the mind works and how society... I'm surprised we've made it this far, to be honest.
Have we made it?
When you really sit and... How have we not just annihilated each other out of existence yet?
I mean, there's been a lot of people dead.
There's been a lot, yeah, that's very true.
There's been a lot. And it's still going on in other parts of the world. Like, we're still doing it.
We're considerably lucky to be fucking... So I never got patriotism I never understood that.
No, not me.
Because it's like, you're just lucky enough to be born here, mate.
Oh, what's that fucking Russell Howard? What I can't remember what he's on about.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I know exactly what you're thinking.
He's on about where you look to avoid. He's like, oh, it's some posh part of the UK, and he's like, "Mummy, point your fanny
towards England."
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
like, it's like, thank you. My God, look at that chav. It's like, oh yes, it's just like just look.
Oh, yeah, it's just a fucking 1,000,000%. Life is just a dice roll.
And I often think patriotism is a bad thing. It's like because we should think of, if anything, we should all be patriotic about. It should be about the world we live in.
Mate, countries are,
not the bit of land.
To quote Enter Shikari, countries are just lines drawn in the sand with a stick.
So drawn, I suppose say drawn in the sea, maybe.
No, country is drawn in the land. Obviously, your borders.
See, this is because we're in the UK.
Oh, yeah,
I know we've got Wales
Scotland
and Scotland,
Wales, mate.
but they don't.
But you know what I mean? It's an analogy that stands.
Yeah.
Do you know what terrifies me the most about everything? As a nice little positive note to close it on.
Oh, go on.
There's pretty much only the only oil left in the world is pretty much in the I think it's the North Sea. Is it North Sea? Atlantic? It was one of the seas where the Antarctic is. They found oil in the Arctic.
Right. Okay.
The Antarctic, and I think that's like the last proper source of it.
Oh, okay.
And it's like we're just gonna bomb the fuck out of each other for that last bit of oil. Yeah. Like there's oil in the ice, and they're gonna just fucking carve that ice to shit. It's gonna speed up global warming. The glaciers are gonna melt even faster. We're either gonna flood. We're gonna nuke each other over the last bit of oil.
Yep.
It's and then another civilization will pop up.
Yep.
Yep.
See,
mate, you can do what the fuck you want. Nature will be right back.
I would. So I'd love to do a podcast about the whole advanced civilization in the past thing.
Oh yeah, because we're like the fourth or fifth, aren't we, or something? They reckon.
What? No, completely wrong.
No, right.
Like
oh, you
that,
fucking
you,
know, do you?
Yeah. Well, when you say they reckon, assuming that
it's all I've heard.
Assuming when you say they reckon, you mean like official opinion sort of thing.
Yes, probably.
Official opinion is like, no, we're the first intelligent
Oh
civilization.
no, we're not the first intelligent civilization.
Yeah. No, but like this is what I mean by the whole.
Oh,
Where
no,
it's like,
yeah.
there's 9 planets sort of thing. So there's 9 planets, and we're the first advanced civilization. We evolved to where we are now, and that is it. Because this is what I mean. That Graham Hancock and whatnot I was on about. Like, for years, that's been his point, that there was a previous advanced civilization.
Yep.
But everything he's ever done in terms of academia, he's been like a joke. Then they've just really tried to undermine him, called him like a pseudo-scientist and all this.
Yeah,
like,
no one's going to take him seriously.
Yeah, but he's got like really good, like his books are really good with how he's like.
Yeah, I'm sure they are great books, and I'm sure.
But so it's really interesting for me to hear you go like, oh, I don't, and we're like the 4th or 5th, like they say. It's like, no, they do not say at all. They say we're the first, and if you try and say anything otherwise, it's like, well, you're an idiot. Then you're a clown.
I'm saying there's just no way. There's no way we're the first civilization.
I know, right? Because we've been around way too long.
Yeah, there's no way we're the first. I just think previous civilizations either just do well. I reckon previous civilizations just did exactly what the fuck we're doing. Just bomb the fuck out of each other.
What it was, I can't remember the terminology for the time of what I think it's around the 13,000 BCE mark. There was a global cataclysm. Comet hit the ice cap, so like torrential floods, whatnot, basically wiped out most things. Done. You know, fucking blacked out the sky and whatnot, and we think that's when the reset was. Basically,
I reckon the ice age and all the planet flooding will be another reset, and I reckon the next civilization will be like sea people. Oh, that'd be cool.
At some point down the line, when life's a bit fucking, I can make more time, I will plan out some podcasts about these kind of subjects because it's really interesting.
It's just cool to talk about it. Isn't it?
Obviously, if the podcast ever got super big, I'd love to actually have Graham Hancock on because he's so fucking cool. I think he lives in Poole or Bath.
Oh, is it UK? Is it?
Yeah. He's cool as shit, man.
He's a potential guest then.
Oh god,
somewhere down
I'm
the line.
sure I messaged him on Instagram, but
did ya?
Yeah.
Please, can I do a little podcast?
Oh god, I feel like such a fan of.
Such a fanboy. Just get your dick out of his fucking mouth.
Like I'd message.
Get his dick out of your mouth.
You ain't read Dean Stott's book, have you?
I listened to him on his podcast.
On the podcast,
Jocko's podcast.
His book's really good.
Is he the British?
Yeah.
The one that broke his legs jumping out that
I
fucking
messaged him
thing?
when I pretty much first
I
started the
remember
podcast,
saying, and he was like,
and he replied to me and he said like, "Let me know, like, and we'll sort it out."
Yeah.
And I messaged him again since, like, you know, it's nearly been a year, blah blah blah. I am pretty small. No. He's read it and then I replied. I really think he's went, oh right, I thought you were bigger than that. Or like, I've realised now how diddy you are. Like, sorry, I ain't got time for you. I'll feel ever so bad if he ever replies to me now. I'll be like, oh shit, if you go see my podcast, see my bad mouthing him.
I don't think he's going to go for your podcast, mate. Don't worry about it.
I know. I'd love it if he did. Yeah. I'm not bad mouthing him anyway, I'm just saying he didn't reply. Whereas he did before.
You bastard!
Yeah. Fucking hell.
I know, we better wrap this up, man.
Where's that gone?
Right, then we're calling it.
Yeah, right. Apologies, the batteries ran out for the second
Yeah,
time.
it's been a bit of a pisser today, isn't it?
Yeah,
At least we're
it's been
back
a
on the
bit of
Monday
up and down.
routine.
So,
I think I think it started a bit shaky, but I think we had a good intellectual conversation towards the end then.
Yeah. So, battery lights flashing red at me. So we've got to go. Love you all. We'll catch you next week, and we're going to stay consistent until the year end.